My podcast went well. I had a call with Matthew Mosseri or Matt Mosseri. And we filmed a podcast to get some content out of it for his coaching business. Super fun. Asked him some really good questions. He's a really dedicated coach, so I'm really excited to see his growth on the platform and just in general. He's gonna do some great things. So I'm excited to take a look at it and edit it and
Yeah,
get
he's
it out for
crushing
you
it.
guys. Oh,
He's doing
crushing
so
it.
well. Yeah, I work with him one-on-one. He's doing really well.
Just shows like genuinity. Like if you're just a genuine human being that really wants to help out, like that's what people buy into.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Wow.
Love it. Well, today we've got some pretty actionable stuff for people to use, even to get access to for free. So all that stuff's going to be down in the description. But we're going to be talking about something that we created and sent out to all of our AR clients this week, which is 10 viral hooks. I just thought that'd be a helpful kind of tool heading into, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the New Year, all of that. Giving just some hooks and some hook ideas and how to implement them into your social medias to get more leads, more views, more eyeballs, and then ultimately more clients inside your coaching business. So, what do you think, Mike? How do you want to kind of attack this one? I know on the team call we went through kind of hook by hook.
Yeah.
What do you want to do today?
Let's do this. I want you to explain what a hook is and the importance of it and your perspective.
Yeah, so a hook, you guys have all heard of it by now. I mean, Hormozy kind of like coined the term, I feel like, or at least he coined the term of like the content unit, which is involving a hook. But hooks, guys, are what's going to basically buy you the first 5 to 7 seconds of someone actually giving you a chance to watch your content. Okay, so like a hook is the first thing that you say, and it can be something that you say, it can be visual, right? Sometimes you'll see something crazy happening at the very beginning of a video, and you guys have all seen like this trend that, it's like a bull hitting a guy or something, and then a person like jumps up against the wall, and they were using it in like car sales for a while, and then they were using it in, realtors were using it and all sorts of stuff. But a hook can be visual, it can be audible, it can be really anything that just gets somebody to stick around and not continuously keep doom scrolling, right? And it just keeps their interest for just a little bit longer so that you can maybe introduce what you have to say with somebody.
I agree. But you're trying to capture attention, right? So
Yep.
Gary Vee, new book, Day Trading Attention. Attention is the most expensive thing that you can purchase. So we want to try to get that information or get their attention from them so we can relay our information as much as possible. And so if you want to go ahead and put inside the chat, we can put that copy link so that way they can have their own.
Yeah, we're going to put it in the description. It's in the description.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so basically what these hooks are just examples of fill in the blanks, or you can put in your own niche. Hooks are supposed to speak to your ideal client, right? If it doesn't speak to your ideal client, then you're trying to capture people that are not people that you want to capture. So whether you're talking about perimenopause, or whether you're talking about growing your arms, whether you're talking about mental health, right? So we talked really deep on this on our internal group coaching call on Tuesday with everybody inside AR. And we kind of went over in detail by detail, but it's really important that your content speaks to your client. Hooks are supposed to be narrow, not general. We want them to be around a specific pain point, specific problem, specific person, specific issue. We don't want it to be like, you want to learn how to become fitter. It's like, that is so broad, it's not going to capture anybody's attention. We also led with talking about whenever you go to create a hook, never start with, okay, so today, guys, I'm going to talk about, like, remove the filler words and you explaining yourself as if you're talking to somebody. I want you to act like you ripped back a curtain and you just had to say the line. So active is it's in a movie where it's like, in a movie, you don't just like, okay, guys, so here's my line, and then you say the thing. Just rip the curtain back and be like, 3 tips on how to lose fat for women over 30. Like, just go straight after it, right? That way, you remove your filler words, you utilizing the best of those first 3 to 5 seconds as much as you can. And that'll help you get a lot more views and a lot more people start to be intrigued about what it is you're saying. We'll also teach you to stop using filler words. That's really big.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think there's a rep-based thing too.
Cut the
I
flow.
think it's just like talking more in general with a camera on you, or at least with like, even if you're just doing practice content, just talking more is going to help you to cut a lot of those things out, because it does. We're all naturally a big thing that, you know, Felicity and I's age group struggles with is like, the word like, and it gets thrown into like every other like word inside like sentences. Like people just do that. That's how it kind of sounds with everybody. And so we always have to kind of identify, and a lot of times it takes a separate person's point of view to look at it and be like, hey, here's what I'm noticing. And after the first few times that I heard you say like, that's all I could hear was just how many times you're saying like, or I know my big thing is right or okay. And those things over time, they compound and they can take away from what you're actually trying to communicate. So basically what you're saying, Mike, is to be precise, especially in the beginning of your content with that hook, because every wasted millisecond is you're going to have some sort of a drop-off percentage.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. You want to basically remove any hesitations, remove any bait and switch, remove any unsures. It's like if you're starting off a video doing curls and all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to show you how to do a leg workout. It's like, what? That's not what I was wanting. I was wanting to learn. I was watching this because I want to see you do arms. So hooks also too, you can have nonverbal hooks as well. Or we talked about this too on Tuesday. A nonverbal hook would be those videos where you see the bull running and hits the person, and then it cuts over to you, and you like get slammed up against the car, and then you turn around and start selling your car. Like here at Chevrolet, blah, 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 blah. That's a nonverbal hook. It grabs your attention. Same thing as the kid throws the baseball to the parent, and the parent hits it, and it comes right at the camera. And you're like, oh, or like the spider jumps right at the camera. A nonverbal hook. Something that grabs your attention, makes you go, whoa, and then it goes to the thing they're talking about. So there's a lot of different ways to do nonverbal hooks as well. I've seen a lot of success with that over probably the last 6 months, I would say, right, as far as those go. But anytime you can do something that's going to like be different. Another nonverbal hook would be a great example is like somebody sitting here like throwing a ball against the wall, right? Baker brought this up the other day. He was like, man, I was just sitting here watching this guy throw a ball against the wall, and I'm realizing like, oh, he's talking. Like I've been listening to this for 15 seconds as he's throwing this ball against the wall. So doing something is going to get more people's attention than you just sitting still right at the camera. Movement always wins. It keeps it interactive. So whether that's your camera moving or whether that's you moving, but movement is also going to be great. You've seen the one where people pick up the phone off the ground. It's nothing more than movement is being the hook, right? Another version of a nonverbal hook. So you can do a video edit clip into what it is you're doing, or you can make movement, you can move the camera, you can drop the camera, you can pick the camera up, right? A lot of different things like that. Something I've been doing a lot of my stuff as of late is that whenever the video starts, it kind of like zooms in with the title. Again, movement with text. It's a nonverbal hook that helps pull people in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk. Go
One
ahead,
thing
Felicity.
I was just gonna say the one thing to like boil this all down is evoking the feeling or the emotion of curiosity in the viewer. Because as soon as they become curious about what you're either gonna say or what you're gonna do or what something is gonna do, like the bull running or the spider jumping, that's when you hook them in because they're like, oh, what's this gonna be about? It's those lean forward, like, let me watch more videos.
Yeah. And I want to kind of hit a couple of the high level things. I don't want to go through every single hook. Guys, there's a lot of value in those hooks, and there's a lot of examples too of how you can implement them. So click on that link in description and we'll send it over to you. But I want to talk about some of the high level stuff. Like we talked about the difference of how you versus how I. And we talked about the proclivity of us as human beings to want to avoid a negative thing versus accomplish a positive thing. So
Yeah.
Mike, maybe you can break those things down for us.
Yeah, so you versus I. So what we want to try to do for the most part is not tell people what it is they need to do.
Yeah, not
Versus-
preach at them.
Right. You don't want to reject them from right out of the gate, right? Or like you want to point a finger at somebody. I'd rather say point the finger at myself. Like this is what
Mhm.
I've done from my experience. This is how I do it. Because otherwise, you can make a controversial statement about something you do. You get canceled by doing a controversial statement about what somebody else does.
Yeah.
Now, not that I don't love me some good controversy. In fact, I hate it. However, it works really well. But it's you just want to speak from my experience, something that I've done. This is what I do. This is what I eat. Not this is what you should do. This is what you should eat. This is what you should try. Okay, because when we say should, also is implying that somebody's doing something wrong. And so you got to remember that oftentimes in the fitness space, we're speaking to people that have an insecurity attached to their food, body image, thoughts, all these things, right? And so you should
some
do
of the
this.
most intimate ones you can possibly have.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you look in the mirror. How you look naked.
Self-insecurities.
Like,
Yeah. And that's people even to look at themselves in the mirror naked because most people don't once you hit a certain level, right? So being able to say like this is what I do to help me do X, Y, and Z is going to be like, oh well, let me learn more about what it is you do versus like if this is your problem, this is what you should do. And they're like, who are you to tell me what I need to do? Like, I mean, I know I need to do it, but screw you for saying that. That's how sometimes these things can come off depending on what it is we do. And it's not our intention. It's just we're trying to give advice. But we need to give advice from I instead of you. And that's what Baker meant by that.
yep.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the need or psychologically how we are more likely to want to avoid something negative than we are to want to achieve something positive.
Yeah.
What does that mean psychologically? And then what does that mean as far as a hook? So the setup of a hook.
Sure. So I always use the great example as like, people don't watch church as much as they watch the news. And the news is typically not full of sunshine and rainbows, right? Some of all the negative things that are going on, which is why essentially, well, frankly, I don't watch it. But if the concept or idea is that we want to basically not step on landmines versus like, this is a safe place to stand. This is a safe place to stand. It's like, don't tell me what's safe. Tell me what's not safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll worry about what's safe. So the same concept from a content standpoint is 3 ways to lose weight, 3 ways to keep gaining weight. It's like, well, which one would you rather watch? The one that's going to make you fatter or the one that's going to make you less fat? I'm like, well, let me not get fatter. So let me figure that out. Another great example is like top 10 vacations to go on with your spouse. Like, okay. Top 10 places you should never visit with your spouse. Be like, well, let's see what those are because I definitely don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So that's a way of looking at it from a negative standpoint. Now, the funny thing is oftentimes the answers are typically the same.
Yep.
Right? And so what I mean by that is 3 ways to lose weight. Let's say it's chicken, cardio, broccoli. 3 ways not to gain, or 3 ways to get fatter. Don't eat chicken. Don't eat broccoli. Don't do cardio.
Yeah, it's the same. It's you always talk about the highest paid like writers in the world are the people that just write the headlines, and I think the example for example, like if you're looking at here's 3 ways to get 6-pack abs, right? Or here's the things you need to do to get 6-pack abs versus these 3 things might be keeping you from 6-pack abs, right? 2 completely different vibes there, but one of them I'm wondering, like, I really hope I'm not doing one of those 3 things that's going to keep me from 6-pack abs.
Right.
I need to find out what those are. And then one of them is, okay, they're going to tell me to freaking eat less and move more, and like I don't want to hear all the things I'm doing bad at. But it's the exact same content on the other side of this, like this clickbait or this title.
Yeah.
So-
Same thing also is like the myth statements, right?
Yep.
Like 3 biggest myths when it comes to losing weight. You're like, what have I been doing? That's a lie. You just want to see what's on the other side of that coin. And that's why it's a hook. It's like it captures you and pulls you in. And so tabloid magazines like BuzzFeed, those type of magazines, that the ones you see at the grocery store right for you to check out, those are the ones that are the highest paid copywriters in the world. And it's because you have like 8 words to capture somebody's attention and make them buy that magazine or pick it up. Because you got to remember, the objective that they need is for you to open up the magazine and look inside of it. They don't actually need you to purchase it. They need you to open it and read that article. Why? Because other companies will pay them to put their ads inside that tabloid around the section that the header on the front page is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you open it up and it's like Burberry. Right before this, and Burberry paid lots of money because they know people open that up looking for that headline of what they shouldn't do and why they're getting fatter. And Burberry's like, yeah, I'll pay for that spot. And so that's why that's important. So you're that same concept is how do you get people to watch your content for you to go, wait, hang on a second. What did Mike just say?
Yep.
And that's all we're trying to do is just grab somebody's attention in one way or another. Verbal hooks, copy hooks, moving hooks, editing hooks. There's a lot of different ways, but things that we sent over in the description are basically going to be your words, because that's really one of the things that's easy to do, is how you say what you say. As you get better, you can start to add in the other things as well, because no matter what, if what you say doesn't land, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it doesn't matter the video, it doesn't matter how you edit it. It all starts with what you say and how you say it.
Absolutely. So yeah, guys, we've got 10 viral hook templates down in the description. Each one of them has 3 different variations of how you could implement it. All right, we don't want you guys to look at these as super concrete. You don't have to copy them verbatim, but the idea is there. You can do each of those, I would say, in 5 to 10 different ways, accomplishing the same thing. So if you see something that's dream outcome, your ICA probably has more than one dream outcome that you could sub in, right? It might be losing 10 pounds, it might be getting a 6-pack, it might be toning up, it might be losing their pooch, but those are all essentially the same thing, just packaged differently. So you can do a ton of different variations with each of these, and they don't have to be exact word for word verbatim, but we gave a bunch of examples, 3 examples per hook, in fact, so 30 different examples on this spreadsheet or this doc, and yeah, we hope this helps you guys out just in terms of creating content. And around this time of year, things are going to get more saturated, so we want you to be able to stand out at a super high level and get eyeballs at a super high level. So that's all down in the description. You just got to put in let us know where to send it, basically. All down in the description.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.